Good evening to you and welcome to Nationwide News on the network service of the NTA. I am Norlene Ebel Ame with the news. Let's begin the bulletin by informing you that Vice President Kashim Shettima is currently presiding over the National Economic Council meeting at the Council Chamber of the Presidential Villa. The meeting, which is the 145th and the 7th in the year 2024, has state governors and other stakeholders to discuss and come up with robust solutions to the current economic challenges facing the nation. The presidency says the proposed tax reform bills currently before the National Assembly will not increase the number of taxes presently in operation. Rather, it will optimize and simplify existing tax frameworks. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the presidency says the tax rates will remain the same as they focus on ensuring a more equitable distribution of tax obligations without adding to the burden on Nigerians. Also, the new tax bills will not absorb or eliminate the duties of any existing department, agency, or ministry. Instead, they aim to harmonize revenue collection and administration across the Federation to ensure efficiency and cooperation. On the proposed derivation-based VAT distribution model, which the Northern governors oppose, the presidency stresses that the new proposal, as enunciated in the bill, is designed to create a fairer system. The current model for distributing VAT is based on where the tax is remitted rather than where goods and services are supplied or consumed, which the ongoing tax reform seeks to correct the inequity. The presidency commends the Northern governors and traditional rulers for supporting President Bola Tinubu over the success recorded in addressing the country's security challenges. The transmission company of Nigeria, TCN, says it has successfully restored bulk power supply through its 330 kV Ugwaji Apir transmission line 1, following the completion of repairs on the vandalized section of the line. With the restoration of the line, the Apir Lafia transmission line 2 is now operational, with electricity supply restored to Lafia, Makudi, Jos, Kaduna, Kano, Bauchi, and Gombe states. The engineering team is preparing to commence work on the second 330 kV transmission line, and TCN says all necessary materials for the repairs are on hand, and work will commence as soon as the site is secured for the safety of its personnel to the affected sections of the vandalized 330 kV transmission line 2. TCN notes that teams of linesmen will re-patrol the 330 kV line 2 to ensure that no other sections are impacted as the repair works progress. The Nigeria Governors Forum is strengthening collaboration with key players in the economic, health and security sectors in finding innovative solutions to national challenges. This came to the fore during the forum's physical session held at its secretariat in Abuja. Political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga reports.
It was around 9 o'clock in the evening yesterday when governors, few deputies, and the former vice president of Nigeria, Mohammed Namadi Sambo, started arriving the secretariat of the Nigerian Governors Forum shortly after attending a meeting of the National Council of Traditional Rulers held at the State House to review reports on issues of urgent national importance. And the session went closed door, which lasted several hours, with African Medical Center of Excellence funded by Afrexim Bank to manage cardiovascular illnesses, and the nation's fuel situation dominate deliberations.
And it's going to be a referral center of excellence for all medical challenges. We also received the Chief Executive Officer of NMPC, who briefed us on the total subsidy removal.
The forum also received a briefing from offices of the National Security Advisor and Department of Security Services on better ways to foster synergy in protecting lives and safeguarding property of Nigerians. Nigeria Governors Forum, chaired by the Governor of Kwara State, Abdulrazak Abdulrahman, commends President Tinubu's reforms under the Renewed Hope agenda and appeals to Nigerians to be patient as steps have been taken to solve fuel crisis and make living affordable. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
And talking security, the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, Office of the National Security Advisor, is collaborating with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in combating terrorism financing networks to tackle the menace of violent extremism. Director General of the Center, Major General Garba Laka, stated this while receiving Major General Mohammed Al-Mugedi, Secretary General of the Islamic Counter-Terrorism Center, IMCTC, Saudi Arabia in Abuja. He emphasized that cutting off terrorism financing is crucial for countries to make headway in fighting terrorism.
The major thing has to do with terrorism financing. If you could cut off their source of financing, then you would have made headway. So there's a critical need to combat terrorism financing as a key component of disrupting terrorist network. There's a need for us to cooperate in this area.
And also the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they have 46 program. They just brought it out in the meeting. This program you talk about, it's you have people willing to train them, train them in military and counter-terrorism, train them in financing, whatever you would like training, we can train them.
Major General Garba Laka also revealed that Nigeria has secured more than 200 convictions of terrorists and implemented rehabilitation and reintegration programs for those found innocent. The national lessons from past Nigerian Army international security operations and the peacekeeping missions are critical in the ongoing drive to secure the nation. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this was the focus of a workshop for security personnel organized by the Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja, to enhance application of knowledge from historical army warfare in combating emerging security threats.
The Nigeria's army predates the nation's independence in 1960. From a group of able youths assembled by John Glover in 1863 to protect the then British colony, the military transformed together with the sovereignty of Nigeria to become a strong, formidable fighting force, defending our territorial integrity. This seminar on the relevance and prospects of military history is aimed at upholding lessons from past military operations for future use.
Each and every of the principle of war is derived from the lessons we learn in history. And so since we are using the principle to fight the present war and even the future war, then it is necessary for us to know that without the history you cannot build today and the future.
And that is why we have seminars of this nature, just to bring up to speed all the participants so that they are attuned to the current realities and then they brace up to what they should expect.
We've heard about the army or the soldier of the future. That's a challenge which we are going to pass across to the Nigerian army, based on the recruitment, based on doctrine, based on training.
From the Nigerian Army Resource Center in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
We now take you to our Lagos Network Center, where Michael Olale is standing by to give us more reports from that zone. Hello, Michael.
Good, Nolene, and thanks for joining us in Lagos. Nigerians must be patient and hopeful that the reforms embarked on by President Bola Tinubu's administration will yield positive results soon. Akwa Ibom State Governor Umo Eno stated this at the groundbreaking ceremony of Ibom Towers in Lagos. Joy Ken Abapoya reports that Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu was at the event.
It's a place where you come, live, work and play.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Umo Eno, who says President Tinubu's achievements as Lagos State Governor speak to his good leadership qualities, urged Nigerians to trust the president as there's light at the end of the tunnel. The Ibom Towers construction, the governor says, is an investment that will grow the Akwa Ibom State economy and increase its revenue base.
We remain hopeful that the reforms our president is currently introducing to grow our country, painful as they may appear today, will bear fruit soon and reposition Nigeria just like he did with Lagos State as the largest economy in Africa. So I urge our people to follow patiently while we walk this path, because I see a great light.
So there's always a mutual exchange of concepts and ideas, and I thank God that it has materialized itself in what is happening today. What we are bringing to Lagos State is something that will generate revenue for the state. It's something that will increase our IGR for Akwa Ibom State. It's a project that all of us, our children, will benefit immensely from it.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is optimistic that the initiative, which shows the strength of Lagos and Akwa Ibom states in revenue generation, will encourage more businesses and investments.
This is what the governance is supposed to be. We're supposed to do peer review. We're supposed to look at where you have comparative advantage and utilize that comparative advantage to the benefit and to the betterment of your people.
I assure you, the enabling environment will be provided. You will make sure that you enjoy the benefits of your effort. We went through producing these drawings together to ensure that a befitting structural edifice is bequeathed to the state, not only Akwa Ibom, but also Lagos State, because it's going to change the landscape of this environment.
The 18-story Ibom Towers construction is expected to be completed in 24 months. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abapoya, NTA News.
Environmentalists at the 33rd National Conference tagged ECO 2024 seek to reappraise stakeholders in the sector on the use of technology in addressing environmental challenges. Larry Bilei has details.
It is an interaction geared towards bringing different voices in the sector together under a canopy to address the global challenges bedeviling the environment in every facet. For example, environment sustainability advocacy has acknowledged the friction of economic development and environmental concerns. Hence, what are the concepts to consider in achievement of green energy that will engender environmental protection and drive economic progression?
Environmental protection is not just a cause for its own sake. It is an existential imperative that demands action. Complacency is therefore not an option.
Technologies that monitor air pollution, radiation, weather forecast, and gas emissions coupled with waste management using circular economy, the conference states needs to be homegrown and locally fabricated.
We have scientists in the environment space who have developed environmental tools, not just looking at what we import or buy from the global north.
We want homegrown technology rather than having transfer of technology that never comes. We want to support Nigerians. We want Nigerians that are innovative. We're quite innovative. Why don't we make those innovations grow?
Nigeria Environmental Society states that the theme of the conference, Environmental Resource Management, Conservation and Protection in Global Emerging Innovative Technology for Sustainable Development, reflects the present challenges and opportunities in the journey towards safeguarding the nation's environment. In Lagos, Lanre Bilayi, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Lagos. Nationwide will continue in Kaduna after this break. Do stay.
Kaduna. The Director General of the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, DIG, Johnson Kokumo, has urged all arms-bearing agencies to submit all licensed arms recovered to the Center for proper documentation and further investigation. The Director General stated this during a working visit to the Northwest Zonal Office here in Kaduna. Haruna Muhammad reports.
For more than a decade, Nigeria has been on the news for various security challenges ranging from banditry, kidnapping, terrorism, and other criminalities. The federal government established the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons to stem the tide of arms circulation, and this is what the DG is poised to deliver. The meeting with the Northwest officials is to strengthen collaboration and execution of mandates, while highlighting the connection between the proliferation of weapons and rising incidents in banditry, kidnapping, and armed robbery. He urged arm-bearing agencies to support the center, hand over recovered weapons for documentation and profiling. This, he explains, is to investigate the sources of the weapon before they are eventually destroyed.
We are not relenting on our efforts to ensure that we rid Nigeria of illicit arms proliferation.
The DG also expressed gratitude to the Kaduna State government and other stakeholders for their support in the center's effort to combat the illegal spread of weapons in Nigeria. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Traditional leaders have been described as critical stakeholders who play vital roles in the fight against banditry in Katsina State and other parts of the country. And this was at the opening of a 3-day capacity building workshop organized by the member of the House of Representatives representing Kankia, Kusada, Ingawa, Federal Constituency, Abubakar Yahya of Katsina State. Abidu Yunusa reports.
They experienced several attacks by bandits in recent years. It is against this backdrop that member House of Representatives representing Kankia Kusada and Gawa constituency Abubakar Yahya Kusada convened this 3-day capacity building for traditional leaders from the constituency to educate them and fashion out modalities for combating banditry in the constituency.
It is good enough for us to organize a seminar for interactive session so that we can talk to each other. Major key players, that is village heads, district heads, councillors, and the other stakeholders. Let us come together and brainstorm. How can we give our contribution to the government? How can we do something that can curb this insecurity that is approaching the constituency? This is the aim and the essence of this seminar.
During the 3-day capacity building, security experts are expected to deliver lectures on the role of traditional leaders in mitigating insecurity, community intelligence gathering as a tool for combating security threats, among others. The theme for the 3-day capacity building is enhancing security through strategic engagement. In Katsina, Abidu Yunusa, NTA News.
And that's our contributions from this end. Nolin, we take it up from here in our Abuja studio. Thank you very much for watching. Nolin, over to you.
Very well, Mohammed Ajingi, thank you for your contribution from Kaduna. And from Kaduna, we take you to Kano, where Kano state government is to bring digital resources closer to local communities by establishing computer-based test and information and communication technology centers in each of its 44 local government areas. Preparatory to achieving the establishment of the centers, a training workshop on entrepreneurial development was held in Kano, targeting leaders from local women's development centers. Let us join Abdullahi Mustafa for details.
Workshop organized by Kano State Government aims to equip participants with the necessary knowledge to train youth in digital skills for the effective operation of the proposed digital centers across the state. Additionally, the training is expected to provide small business owners with vital entrepreneurial skills they can share within their communities.
We are going to train those people how they will train those that want to start business.
We are going to study it because from our experience, when you have such programs that are laudable, after one government goes and another government comes, such laudable projects are abandoned and even vandalized.
The Deputy Governor emphasized the government's commitment to making the initiative impactful and sustainable. He stressed the importance of local communities taking ownership of these centers, with each community responsible for maintenance to promote long-term success and accessibility. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
And still staying with Abdullahi Mustafa in Kano, he is on the field, to update us more on what Kano is providing for its populace. Hello, Abdullahi.
Hello, Nolin. This program you have just seen in the report is one of the initiatives of Kano State Government to address gaps in the previous empowerment programs that the government sees as unsustainable, that people are being provided with empowerment materials, but it will not take long time that businesses collapse and some of the tools being given are being sold off by the beneficiaries. So this time the government is using representatives of local government women development centers who already have some traits. They are training other women in their various communities. So they are being trained on entrepreneurship skills and of course ICT skills, because there is presently Office of Special Advisor on Digital Economy, and the Ministry of Science and Technology has also been upgraded to Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. So this informed the decision, as the Commissioner explained, of establishing CBT centers. Because at present, outside Kano Metropolis, Kano State has only 3 functional centers in Dambata, Wudil and Bichi. So all the remaining 38 local governments do not have such. So with this, the government feels people can use digital skills in adding value to what they are doing, rebranding their businesses so that they can earn more from what obtains presently and before now. So this is the concept. The government wants to go down to the communities and also use the ICT to improve the businesses of people at the grassroots. So this is all about the program.
How receptive are the people to this kind of gesture?
Actually, the people are the beneficiaries, especially because now it is train the trainer workshop. So those are going to train others in their various communities, and they are actually happy because they themselves feel these they will be more equipped with the requisite skills to grow their businesses and also be trainers in their own right, so that they can produce more entrepreneurs. And they are happy that they can be using platforms like YouTube and other search engines to explore ways of enhancing their businesses or modern skills of doing other digital innovations and, as we said earlier, rebranding their existing businesses.
All
so
right, thank you very much, Abdullahi Mustafa, for updating us on the digital centers opened for the residents of Kano State. Thank you. Now, the agenda of President Bola Tinubu to return 10 million out-of-school children to school and reform the Almajiri system of education is gaining support from stakeholders in Cross River State, who view the initiative as a win-win development in education and the well-being of Nigerian children. This was made known at an advocacy visit of the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer, National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Children, Dr. Muhammad Sani Idris, to stakeholders in Cross River State. Maureen Leo Ajom has more.
That education is not all about paper qualification. Mr. President said enough, gone are the days when we would be worshiping degrees and degrees.
The President Bola Tinubu administration, through the National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Children, has launched this initiative to return 10 million out-of-school children to school and reform the Almajiri system of education.
We know that here we're looking at education very seriously. Yes. I believe that in the coming year we'll try to build model schools in almost all the local governments.
The move is supported by the stakeholders who are saying that all hands must be on deck to give hope to the Almajiri and out-of-school children in Nigeria. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
And still on education, with education as the backbone of any society and its protection paramount, the Nigeria Police Force has inaugurated Schools Protection Squad in Anambra State. The event took place at Dora Akunyili Women Development Center in Awka, the state capital. Chinyere Fesi Okoye reports.
Under the auspices of the Nigerian Police Strategic Forum, the Stakeholders Forum on the Security of Schools in Anambra State and Training of the Schools Protection Squad (SPC) has the theme Strengthening Security Resilience and Integration of Host Communities in the Protection of Education. AIG Godwin Agolo, who represented the Inspector General of Police, the Deputy Governor of Anambra State, who declared the event open, among other speakers, noted that the operation is timely, especially in the regard of security concerns in Anambra State.
We need to protect the children in school. We need to protect the teachers.
We promote the federal government agenda of prioritizing school protection in Nigeria, as this is one of the main strategies.
And with the ongoing free education up to secondary schools, for us, therefore, it's a commitment, it's a challenge, it's a task to ensure that the schools are safe.
Anambra State is one of the pilot states and the first state in the southeast to benefit from this federal government's laudable initiative, the inauguration of the Schools Protection Squad. In Awka, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News.
Thank you very much, Chinyere Fesi Okoye. And still talking on the police, the Minister of Police Affairs, Ibrahim Gaidam, has reminded security agencies that by exchanging insights and expertise, law enforcement agencies can collectively analyze emerging risks, identify systemic vulnerabilities, and formulate comprehensive strategies to mitigate the potential threats. This was at a 3-day workshop on West African Information System in Abuja.
The Minister of Police Affairs enjoins stakeholders to put up their thinking caps and articulate strategies that will promote collaboration among law enforcement agencies.
Raising
security challenges and stress in the country, there is no better time than now to build on strengthening interagency collaboration.
Teamwork makes the dream work. No one organization will be able to solve this problem by themselves.
The criminal justice sector, we acknowledge that the safety and security of our communities rely heavily on the effective and timely exchange of critical information.
The issue of information sharing is a sine qua non in trying to protect lives and property.
With the team, interagency collaboration on information sharing, the 3-day workshop focuses on achieving one of the deliverables vested on the Ministry of Police Affairs by President Bola Tinubu on tackling security challenges. Francis from NTA News.
Let's take you to Sokoto, where Sultan of Sokoto and President General Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Mohammed Saad Abubakar, says Friday, 1st November 2024, which is equivalent to 29th day of Rabi'u Thani, shall be the day to look for the new moon of Jumadalu. This is contained in a statement signed by the Secretary Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Sultanate Council, Sokoto Yahaya Muhammad Boyi. Muslims are therefore requested to start looking for the new crescent of Jumadalu 1446 after Hijrah on Friday and report its sighting to the nearest district or village head for onward communication to the Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar. We will now join Robinson Daratede live in our Port Harcourt Center for more on Nationwide. Hello, Robinson. Can you give us information from that end?
Yes, you know that flooding is an annual occurrence in Rivers State due to the coastal area of the state. But the concern of the people is actually the increase or the magnitude of the flood as a result of the release of water from the Lagbo Dam. But this year's flood is currently not very serious because it's still rising. But one major concern we saw in the flood issue is that most houses within the Orashi region are vesting their crops because of the flood. And of course, you know that the consequence of that will be food shortage after the flooding. And so the people are advising government that the Orashi River should be dredged. If the river and some of its tributaries are dredged, it will be able to absorb the magnitude of the flood, and perhaps it will not lead to serious disaster. Government of the state is presently planning of relocating some of the affected victims to upper grants, but that is not yet done. And in the city, particularly in Port Harcourt and Obiakwa local government area, they also suffer flash flood, and this is as a result of the fact that some of the drainages are poorly managed. And of course, some of those lands within the states are also reclaimed. Natural water bodies are reclaimed for building. So if these things are done, experts believe that it will reduce the effect of the flooding in River State. But as we speak presently, people in the Orashi region are already facing rise of the water.
All right, Robinson, quite an unfortunate situation of flood there. Thank you very much for your contribution. We shall now be joining Kemi Oshun, who is in our Ibadan studios, to speak to us more on what they have from that end. Hello, Kemi.
Hello, Nolin, and welcome to Ibadan. Nigeria's Customs Service has pledged its continued support for the fight against fake and hard drugs in the country. The Oyo Customs Controller, Dr. Ben Oramalugo, made this known while showing some seized fake drugs worth millions of naira in Ibadan. Lukman Hassan has the reports.
The Oyo-Osun Custom Controller, Dr. Ben Oramalugo, explained that the customs support for well-being of Nigerians led to the seizure of fake drugs worth over 590 million naira and cannabis sativa with duty-paid value of over 46 million naira. Dr. Oramalugo noted that the command also seized other items such as 433 bags of 50 kg parboiled rice, 61 bales and 10 sacks of second-hand clothes, 93 pieces of used tires, among others.
We need to work with all stakeholders, including the local community, security agencies and traders, leverage on the use of emerging technology, build capacity of our officers to confront emerging threats, and maximize operational efficiency and contribute public sensitization campaigns to ensure that we achieve our goals.
The command, according to him, made over 7 billion naira for the month of October, totaling 56.6 billion naira from January to September 2024. The seized fake drugs and cannabis sativa were handed over to the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for onward destruction.
We don't want it re-injected into the system. If we don't destroy them, if we just dispose them carelessly, it can be re-injected.
NTA is doing every effort through sensitization operations that we carry out in order to prosecute the producer.
The Oyo-Osun Custom Command also received 2 brand new hillocks to assist the command with its patrol operations. In Ibadan, Lokman Hassan, NTA News.
Adopting innovative financing mechanisms through public-private partnership can help mobilize additional resources for the water, sanitation and hygiene sector. This was the submission of speakers at a lecture in Ibadan. Ayomiko Ajibola has the details.
Nigeria has significant total water resources, estimated 215 billion liters of surface water and 87 billion liters of groundwater resources, with the country's rank among the world's worst performance in the proportion of its population that can access safe water supply, sanitation service and hygiene, with vast majority of 87% or 179 million Nigerians not having access to safe drinking water service. This gathering is to accelerate change and propel Nigeria towards achieving its objective of providing universal access to water, sanitation and hygiene by 2030, urging both the federal and the state government to establish institutional and funding foundation for sustainable water, sanitation and hygiene service.
The water infrastructure that are in comatose that have been abandoned and the ones that are barely surviving, to bring them to 100% efficiency, we'll be needing close to $30 billion. If private sectors are invited to bring in their fund, relieve the government of the responsibilities.
The Arokoda is known for its technical richness, intellectual excitement, and the depth of knowledge it imparts. Each year, it addresses contemporary issues and impactful engineering topics.
Presentation of Lawrence Arokodare Award to Best Student from the Department of Civil Engineering from both the University of Ibadan and the Polytechnic Ibadan took the center stage at the occasion, as well as the launching of Lawrence Oluwawemimo Arokodare Foundation.
It's another avenue of sustaining the name, the legacy, the life and times of our late brother.
The theme for this year's lecture is Addressing the Nigerian Nation Water Crisis, Private Sector Solution for Water Secured Future. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Nationwide will continue in Makurdi after this timeout. Do stay. Welcome and thanks for joining us in Makurdi. In an effort to find lasting solutions to the lingering crisis between the Agatu people and the Fulani community, a peace talk has been held in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Blessing Omecha Ebute reports that the meeting was brokered by the Operation Wild Stroke, led by the Force Commander, Brigadier General Lewis Lebdung.
Over the years, there has been violent attacks between the indigenous people of Agatu and herders in that area. Despite interventions from various quarters to quell the crisis, the attacks have persisted, resulting to the killing of several people, destruction of property, and displacement of many. This peace-meeting initiative at the instance of the Operation Wild Stroke, led by its force commander, Brigadier General Louis Lebdon, is to promote dialogue between both parties and stakeholders towards fostering peace and mutual coexistence. The meeting, held behind closed doors, lasted for several hours.
Very hopeful that before long, we will see a very successful community security watch in Benue. Not the one that will be done by the military, but by us as community members, by us who are owners of our communities. And by that doing, it means we will own it and it will be sustainable.
Various representatives who spoke to newsmen after the meeting expressed satisfaction with the genuine deliberations and promised to sheathe their swords and embrace one another.
We have never witnessed a peace meeting like this, and by God's grace, this will bring the last solution to the crisis in Nigeria.
Muna nema yanda zamu zauna mu yi fahimta rikicin nan wanda ake yi in Allah yadda zamu samu mafita inda zamu zauna lafiya.
Everybody in the house unanimously agree that they want peace, and then we also agree that if we want peace, then there are some price we need to pay for peace to reign, and the price is forgiveness.
A communique was issued at the end of the meeting and read by the Director General, Benue State Peace and Reconciliation Commission, Josephine Haba. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
To boost agricultural production in Benue State, farmers have been called upon to take advantage of modern technologies and innovations to boost their agricultural productivity and economic empowerment. This was the submission of various stakeholders at the unveiling of the Farmers Wallet mobile application in Benue State. Elias Itiav completes the report.
Access to finance, quality farming inputs, and market fluctuations remain some of the basic challenges farmers face in the course of carrying out their farming activities. The unveiling of the Farmers Wallet mobile application, a brainchild of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, is a vital initiative, not just in addressing the aforementioned challenges, but also to ensure farmers against implications of climate change. Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of the Farmers Wallet Technology, Yola Valentine, is optimistic that the platform signifies the birth of a solution in transforming the lives of smallholder farmers and breaking the chains of inefficiency in farming business.
The aim is to help farmers save in bits during the harvesting period so that they can also get the correct and the right inputs for them to go to the farm the next cropping season.
Other speakers at the ceremony believe that the digital platform is key to unlocking investment opportunities, strengthening agricultural value chain, and helping smallholder farmers to meet up with the growing food demand.
There's need for individuals and firms to bring up initiatives that encourage farmers to drive the economy by giving the country a viable agro-ecological zone and leave sizable number of the population out of poverty.
In Makurdi, Elias, HF, NTA News.
And that's it from Makurdi. Nationwide continues with Lon Lin in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Fatima Hassan. The federal government has initiated the process of redesigning the Nigeria Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus (NGKS) program to better address the needs of the most vulnerable and poor Nigerians. Neka Oko reports that this is in view of the proposed additional $500 billion financing from the World Bank.
Seated in this hall are stakeholders and policymakers in the NGKS project. They have come together to critically review the thinking of the federal government and the World Bank on the redesign of the NGKS program with a view to enhancing its efficiency and effectiveness.
We want to ensure that every penny spent gets to the poorest, to the most vulnerable. We want to get to them at the communities. That's why this version of it is community-driven.
We have been given a go-ahead to prepare this program, but as a condition of approval, the next one is even bigger.
Key reforms on the table include expanding and updating the state social register, enhancing accountability and transparency measures, transitioning from grants to loan facilitation for small businesses, and capacity building for program staff.
That this consultative approach will enable us to recalibrate our strategies, to strengthen delivery, and maximize the impact of our interventions.
The essence here is to look at the DLIs, look at the operational processes. Even look at the DLI pricing to see what needs to be improved under NGKS 2.0.
The NGKS 2.0, when implemented, is expected to further strengthen the federal government's social safety net program while consolidating on the achievements of NGKS 1.0. In Abuja, Neka Uko, NTA News.
Meanwhile, in the year 2022 and 2023, the solid minerals sector raked in 329.92 billion naira into the nation's coffers as revenue from activities in the sector. This was revealed by the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NTA, at the National Stakeholders Meeting in Abuja. Bosede Ebul Amosu reports.
Congratulations to Nigeria.
This is the official unveiling of the 2022-2023 Solid Minerals Report of the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NTA. Despite the growing figures, the report reveals that the sector contributed only 1.66 trillion naira to the nation's GDP.
Nigeria Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative is quite strong, in spite of challenges, committed to push the boundaries of openness in the solid mineral sector.
We are also intensifying efforts to address challenges within artisanal and small-scale mining, working to formalize their activities so they contribute effectively to the economy.
My office is ready to collaborate with NTA to deepen the audit of extractive sector.
NTA says the report meets international best practices and further boosts the renewed hope agenda of the present administration, especially in its drive to diversify Nigeria's economy. In Abuja, Bosede Ebul Amosu, NTA News.
So this story concludes Nationwide today. Thank you so much for watching. I am Norlene Ebel Ame. Good evening.